Welcome to Benched with the Tovar Brothers. With your hosts, Joey, Gabe, and Angel.
Oh! Football's back. Football's back.
It's starting to get so freaking exciting, man.
It's getting hot.
It's Friday.
Got some clips on Twitter, on Instagram. I love
We're getting
seeing
some
it.
insane clips. Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson,
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Javonte Williams running around. That
Javonte
made
Williams.
me-
Yeah. And you know what? Something we didn't mention last time, and we are sorry for not mentioning it last time.
Uh-oh.
Damar Hamlin.
Yeah.
Back on the practice field.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you a little story about Damar Hamlin.
Tell us.
Once upon a time, me and this man, horns locked in the championship game.
Fantasy football.
Ooh, this is a good story.
Yeah, and it all came down to Bills-Bengals. Gabe had Ja'Marr Chase and Joe Burrow. I had, I think, a 6-point lead or something like that.
10.
A 10-point lead and Josh Allen. And it was all going down to this game. And Damar Hamlin.
Storylines are crazy, too. Justin Jefferson was a starter for you, shut down by my Green Bay Packers. Storylines were off the chain. Monday night football game. Which team's going to take it? Can Josh Allen hold the 10-point lead? That was a great championship.
I hate that that's the only headline you pointed out. You said there was a bunch of headlines, and the one you pointed out was my best player.
Well, there was a lot more, but I'm saying that was a noticeable one.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the NFL, Damar Hamlin. A lot of us, we didn't think we'd ever see him again. So it's good to see him. Good to see him back on a football field.
Yeah.
Best of luck to him. Hope he has a long, awesome career. This is Benched, and we are the Tovar Brothers. I keep forgetting to say that as we open the show,
That's okay.
but it's fine. You know what you clicked on.
Yeah.
Episode number 6. Number 6 already. We're moving, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're moving. Listen, as the NFL season's starting, and we're all getting excited. You're excited, too. I'm sure you are. You got some football people in here.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the show.
Yep.
Follow the show. We're going to cover every freaking thing. We're going to cover it from a fan's perspective. We're not ex-players. This is a fan's perspective, and we're going to give it to you straight, and we're going to give it to you hard.
Yep.
And that's it. It is what it is.
That's always been my motto, baby.
Straight and hard.
On today's show, we will cover the AFC East.
Nothing really happened.
Yeah, not much going on.
I know what's
I
going
want to
on.
wear my glasses, but they are fogging up because it is hot as balls in here.
Yeah.
We'll cover the AFC East, the many moves that happened in the offseason with them,
So many.
and the many fantasy storylines that exist there in that division. So excited. A week from today, guys. We're recording Thursday. So a week from Thursday, tomorrow when you're listening, a week from yesterday, Jets-Browns, Hall of Fame game.
Unbelievable. Those guys just came to camp and they're making them play a game.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's wild.
and you never know what you're going to get. Last year, if you went to this game, you saw Josh
You
Jacobs.
saw Josh Jacobs gain 28 carries.
Everybody just freaking out.
The first of 49 preseason games start next week.
Wow.
By game about 2020, you're done with the preseason.
Any chance Aaron Rodgers sees the field?
No, God, no. Really excited about that. Let's get into the news because there was plenty of it. The Bengals officially signed defensive end Trey Hendrickson to a 1-year contract. I think a big deal for them. Not going to grab any headlines. Not an overly sexy player, but very important to what they do on defense.
Big part of their defense.
Yeah, kind of just a typical Bengals. You couldn't name 5 Bengals defenders,
But you know that they're good.
but they're
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
So good to see him back there in Cincinnati. Unfortunately, today we got some injury news, and
Scary.
there's been a lot of injury news this week.
Heart
just-
stops when you hear some of this
It just
stuff.
sucks to see some of these guys. Let's get into it here. Sorry, I got burp like right on the verge, and it's not
let
coming
it
out.
go.
There you go. There you go.
Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson limped off the practice field with an apparent ankle injury and went to a locker room. I don't think we've got an update about that yet, but
Robert Saleh said that he'll be fine, but still.
ankle injury.
Something to monitor.
He'll miss a couple weeks probably.
Yeah.
No
Good
reason
thing
to
that it
push.
happened
It's
now,
so
though.
early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it needed to happen now if it was going to happen.
No reason to push him. No reason to play him in the preseason either way. I am
Yeah.
sweating like a pig right now.
Yeah.
Dolphins 6-time Pro Bowl cornerback Jalen Ramsey will undergo knee surgery and is expected to miss the start of the regular season with an injury that he suffered during today's practice. Per league sources, Ramsey's ACL is intact, though, which is positive. It came out later that he tore his MCL. Raise your hand if you're at this table and you've tore your MCL.
Where's my hand like Waterboy did?
There it is. Yeah. I was wondering what your plan was there
Waterboy.
when you came forward. That's me.
Yeah.
So
Welcome to the club, Jalen.
yeah, not not good news,
No.
but not the worst case scenario.
It's a bummer,
could've
though.
been a lot
You
worse
wanted
than
to see
that.
this guy with a full season with this
Yeah.
new defense. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
they-
were talking before the show, too. Even when he does come back, he just won't be at full health this year.
right.
which
It'll take him a
sucks.
minute to get back.
sucks.
He's older now.
Yeah. But good.
Glad
Best
the
of luck,
best luck to him.
Yeah.
And at least he will play this
He's
year.
going to play. Yeah, he's going to play.
It came out today that the Cardinals star Buda Baker did receive a raise prior to camp, getting 2.4 in bonuses and incentives this year, including $300,000 signing bonus and a raise for next year. So they had a dispute, obviously, all year. Everyone thought he was going to get traded, and he doesn't get traded. He's back in camp, and now we figure out why.
Yeah. He requested a trade action like a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they throw some more money at him, and he's back in camp.
Yep.
And, I mean, if you watch that in-season
Yeah.
HBO Hard Knocks last year, he's pretty much the leader of that team,
Yeah.
but for sure the defense.
Yeah.
Colts owner, Jim Irsay.
What?
Always good for a good quote.
This guy's just a
Always good for
just
a
a
quote.
wild cowboy, man.
He is literally the loose cannon grandpa. Like you love him.
The loose cannon uncle.
Okay, yeah.
Like the older
Sure.
uncle who's like, oh, he's here.
You love him, but you're legitimately concerned about what he's going to say in front of the wrong people.
Like he goes to your wedding, you're like, oh boy.
Yeah. You don't want Uncle Jim to drink anything.
He shows up drunk.
Yeah.
He felt the need to comment on the running back situation. There's obviously a big thing going on right now. Running backs are speaking out against the league and what's going on with the running back salaries. Jim Irsay feels running backs, their call for another negotiation of pay are inappropriate. Now, I'll say this about what he says. Really nothing wrong with what he says as far as I don't even disagree with him.
Yeah.
But have some awareness.
Jonathan Taylor is up for an extension very soon. The star running back on your team. Really, if you don't have Jonathan Taylor, you're in rough shape.
Yeah.
Offensively, that's not a lot in there.
Just don't say anything, maybe. Just don't comment.
He felt he had to.
Not even maybe. Don't say nothing.
What
It's
is
hot
this
right now.
What does this accomplish for him? That's what I could like. What did this do?
It pissed Jonathan Taylor
That's
off.
exactly.
That's probably what it did.
There's nothing positive that came out of him saying this.
Not great. And then the last injury to report here, Bengals coach Zach Taylor tells reporters that quarterback Joe Burrow suffered a calf strain, which is much better news than the several alternatives. Have to imagine it takes him off the field for the preseason. Fine. And TBD as far as a time frame to come back.
When you saw this, everyone was
God.
everyone was thinking the same thing, but no one wanted to say it
Yeah,
because
they got a good video of it.
non-contact. He was running right, and he just that leg
Just started limping, man.
Yeah,
That was pretty scary.
You didn't want to say it, but you kind of like, oh, I kind of know what this is.
and
I'm not gonna say it now. I'm not gonna say it now.
Me neither.
I'd be pissed. I mean, honestly, I won't say it yet, but I think the Bengals are going to do very well this season.
Yeah.
I won't touch on that later, but and then some news that came out 2 days ago that I really want to talk about was Aaron Rodgers taking a $35 million pay cut.
Yeah.
That's
$35 million.
It's a team player.
Yeah, is he?
That's
That's,
gotta sting a little bit. That's
So they inherited a 2-year, $110 million deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they inherited. So they're going to give him about, what was that, 55 a year?
About. Yeah.
And maybe I thought I heard 60, but I guess 55 a year. And then he cuts that down to from 110 to whatever 110 minus 35 is, and solely so that he can make multiple championship runs.
and get better players on that team too.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wouldn't budge with the Packers.
Yeah. So
budge.
we posted this, and I honestly didn't expect the backlash from Packer fans. Just kind of the ex-girlfriend comments.
Yeah.
Like, hey, didn't do that for me. I wish I saw a lot of like, hey, Devonta Adams would have been there still if you did that for us. I mean, I won't. I think that's a little. He took a $35 million pay cut. I don't know if it's a negative thing to draw from that, but as a Packers fan, how do you feel about
I think
that?
the situation was the exact same thing. I don't want to sound like the bitter ex, but he did have an opportunity with the Packers to do this multiple times. And I think what stings the most is that he was always kind of wanting more help with the Packers and yet didn't budge with his pay. I think that's where the frustration is. Because here, free agency with the Packers always sucks because our hopes are sky high and we never get nothing. A part of that was due to his pay, and he wouldn't budge on that. And I mean, it's great to see he's doing it with the Jets. Just like you said, that's a team move. So I'm not mad at what he did. It does kind of just like you said, it stings.
It's so
stings.
Aaron Rodgers-y. Like I
Yeah, and
I know
it's
how I'm gonna
very
get him
much
back.
Aaron
Right.
Rodgers. Exactly.
So just to offer another point of view, I'm not sure where I feel about this, but just to offer a different point of view, Aaron Rodgers in this point in his career is very different from Aaron Rodgers in prime Packers point of
2018,
his career.
2019.
He's made enough money at this point.
Yeah.
He doesn't need
Yeah.
He's made a lot of money. He could probably
Commercials,
pick
yeah.
his endorsements.
Yeah.
Maybe that played into it. He's at the end of his career now. Maybe he's thinking a little more about legacy than he ever has before. He sees the end. It's right there. And so it's not quite apples to apples, I don't think, but Packer fans were pissed.
I mean, look what
They were so mad.
look how Peyton Manning redid his career towards the end. He probably wants to do that.
Yeah.
Go different team, reinvent yourself, and win another championship. Aaron he only has one champion. He needs another one to be like.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the
His
problem is.
resume requires he's
Yeah.
too good on his resume to not have 2 championships.
I think that's where the problem is too. Really quick, I know we need to move on,
Okay.
but I think the problem is that his last years with the Packers, he had legitimate chances of winning a ring.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they're frustrated. Like, well, we know you're at the end of your career, but you had a legitimate chance here just a couple years ago to win one, and that didn't happen. So I think there's pros and cons to it, but
Good for the Jets, though.
But ultimately, yes,
Yeah.
good for the Jets. Good
Jets
for the
trying
team.
to do something. This is a good starting point.
That's a great move.
It's
for
no
them.
coincidence that this happened, and then the next day they announced Dalvin Cook's going
Right.
to fly in
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
That was my last bit of news here. Dalvin Cook announced
Yeah.
is flying to New York to meet with the Jets.
They're going to sign him.
Brees Hall put on the pup list. Fantasy implications are major with the Dalvin Cook signing.
They're going to sign him.
I think they're going to sign him.
Yeah.
But it did come out that he's already lining up a Patriots visit after the Jets visit. So
Trying to get some money.
I don't know what he's doing, but I think it's significant that he's meeting with all the AFC East teams.
Yeah.
That's a great way to garner some leverage.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see. The last thing I want to talk about here is really the thing I want to talk about most, and that is Sean Payton, head coach of the Denver Broncos. Angel, explain your coach. Explain your coach to me. Do you have the comments?
I do not. If you could read them.
Do you have the comments, Gabe?
I can
yeah,
get.
can you
but-
get them?
I'm just gonna get like the main one.
Yeah, let me set this
Okay.
up. So Sean Payton is doing an interview today, and there are different coaches in the NFL, different kinds of coaches in the NFL. There are coaches who say a lot and never say anything. You think of Sean McVay. There are coaches who choose to say nothing. You think of course, famously Bill Belichick. And then there's Sean Payton, who has never been afraid to run his mouth, has never been afraid to speak his mind, and it's his best thing, and at times it's his worst thing.
Yeah.
And we'll see where we all fall on this one. Do you have the comments? Go ahead.
Everything I heard about last season, we're doing the opposite. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. That's how bad it was.
I need you to find all of them because
He's got
he really went in on them.
He's got a point. As a Bronco fan who watched
Don't
that,
do that.
look.
Don't
Like
do
I said
that.
earlier.
Find the comments.
Like I said earlier. The lowest point I've ever been as a Bronco fan was when the crowd had to count down the play clock because they kept getting delayed games.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. You look in the field up. What is this team? There's no direction.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson felt super alienated from the team. That's a coach needs to manage how you manage your superstar. That's his job too. You have stars, you have superstars. You need to manage both in their own unique way. He was just throwing them all in the pot and saying it'll work somehow.
Do you have those?
Which one are you?
Just
looking
read.
for?
What do you have?
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen too often where an NFL team or an organization gets this embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just a bunch of different.
The ones I
things
want to
here.
hear is the Jets one because he comments on the Jets and compares them to the Broncos last year, which is just if I'm Robert Saleh, I'm so livid for attacking my staff. So if you didn't hear these, I hate that we don't have these comments right now, but if you didn't hear these, Sean Payton was interviewed today and he started talking about the coaching staff last year and really bigger than that, the culture last year. He's mentioned what was happening in the training room and he mentioned Russ by name. He said not only Russ, but a lot of people. He mentioned Coach, God, what's his name? God.
Hackett.
Coach Hackett,
Hackett.
and the other coaches. Says about 20 coaches with their hands dirty. He went in on the 2022 Broncos coaching staff and team and a little bit on the Jets and how they're already doing things. And, I mean...
I don't like that at
We'll
all.
start. I think it's fair. You're the Broncos fan in the house. This is your guy.
How do
you feel?
I like the confidence. But I just don't like how like it puts a target on her back immediately. Now every player is going to go at Sean Payton. There's already been a few ex-players who were on Denver last year going at Sean.
I have a quote for you.
Yeah, go ahead. Billy Turner.
So Jets O-lineman Billy Turner calls Sean Payton, a fucking bum.
Well,
over his comments about the 2022.
He was a bum last year, so I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Billy Turner was a bum last year, so I don't know where
I think I'm a little bit with Billy Turner right
He
here.
was great for us, so that's the only thing I'm taking.
No,
he was great
sucked.
for the Packers.
No, Billy Turner, you suck.
So you're God. Okay, so Angel's is going to defend Sean Payton here.
Here we go. Yeah, here we go.
That's fine.
And it's
I didn't
fine.
know where I was going until
Yeah.
I started talking about it.
It's okay. It's your team.
Now I'm getting a little hot.
Okay. Gabe, how do you feel about this?
Remember when Gruden, like, the big question was, is he going to come back? Is he going to come back? Can he do this? And, like, the expectations were sky high, and then he didn't meet those. I think that's what Hackett was, and he wasn't gone for as long, but now that he's back, the expectations were
That's
already...
what Sean Payton was.
Or Sean, yeah.
Okay, I was
Sean-
like,
Sean
what's
Payton.
happening here? Okay.
No, I'm talking about when Gruden was gone. He was broadcasting for years, and they wanted him to come back to the NFL, and the expectations were like sky high for him. I think Sean Payton kind of had that same thing, and we were all excited to see him back in the NFL. But this is not the way to come back to the NFL, because now every single time something goes wrong, you lose a game.
We also play the Jets this year.
Oh, yeah, well, the point is every time like anything goes wrong now for the Broncos, the media is going to grill Sean Payton.
Not great. So I actually found him. I knew it. Sorry. I have him now. Here's the rest of the comments. Payton says, that was the message. They can only beat the out of you so much, but everyone's got a little stink on their hands. It's not just Russell. It was a poor offensive line. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in history in the NFL. That's how bad it was. Then he says, oh, man, there's so much dirt around that. There's 20 dirty hands, and what was allowed, tolerated in this freaking training rooms and meeting rooms, the offense. I don't know, Hackett. A lot of people had dirt on their hands. It wasn't just Russell. He didn't just flip. He still has it. This BS that he hit a wall, shoot, they couldn't get a play in. They were 29th in the league with pre-snap penalties. Ready with stats. This was wait, I want to read this one. This is my favorite part. We're not doing any of that. The Jets did that this year. You watch Hard Knocks, all of it. I can see it coming. Remember when Dan Snyder, comparing the Jets to Dan Snyder,
Go ahead.
put the dream team together? I was in the Giants. I was a young coach. I thought, how are we going to compete with this team? Deion's there. That team won 8 games or whatever. So just listen. Just put the work in. And then you read the last one I have here. So goes in on the Jets, goes in on Hackett, compares them to Dan Snyder-led Redskins team back then.
Hell yeah, Sean.
Yeah, you're pumped.
Now I'm pumped.
Yeah, you're pumped. But
Can I give my
It's
take?
just nice to have a head coach who's like, who cares? That's just, last year you saw Hackett, you just felt he was lost. He didn't know what to do. Sean Payton, for better or worse, at least he cares.
That's how you show you care.
Yeah, I'm just going to, and also puts an expectation on the team. Like, I expect us to be good.
That was my next question. What do
Yeah.
you think this inspires in the team?
This guy's, he's like serious.
Really?
Like, yeah, this guy, like, he's not, we didn't come here to be.
I guess we can only have our opinions because we're not in the locker room and we're not players.
For sure.
I don't think it has that effect, but I guess we'll see. My biggest problem is shut up, dude. Shut up. Like, it's such a low ball, cheap shot to go at Hackett, who's at his pretty much a low point in his career last year, to go at the Broncos, his own team. I don't know. I don't know if Russell's going to respond very well to this. I don't know. But to go at the Jets, like you said, to put a target on your team's back, who doesn't need that, who's trying to come back from one of the worst seasons they've had. Yeah. I hate this so much. And above all else, to comment on the culture of another team when you are the freaking coach who was penalized for that whole defensive headhunting scheme in New Orleans. Under your watch, is it Greg Lewis?
Yeah.
Greg Williams.
Greg Williams.
Greg Williams.
Legendary douchebag.
Yeah. It cost your team picks. That happened on your watch. And now you're going to come at Hackett?
You learned.
Shut up, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
you just went to a very dark place with that take, man.
Look. So
You should have sitting what I said on the car drive here.
Yeah.
So all last season, all off season, Broncos can get ridiculed and made fun of. We heard it and the first time someone says anything bad, like going the opposite way, then it's like, oh, you guys shouldn't
About
say
who?
that. Russell Wilson The low hanging fruit. Russell
No one's
Wilson.
defending Russell Wilson here. No one's defending him.
I'm not saying that. They were dogging Russell Wilson for almost a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And the first time Sean Payton says, I'm going to defend my quarterback a little bit. I'm going to say it's not his fault. It's everybody's fault. I don't mind this.
I think you can say that without going on a rampage against Nathaniel Hackett. And what's up with the Jets take? Why go at the Jets?
Maybe he doesn't like Aaron Rodgers. I can totally see Sean Payton and Aaron Rodgers not being boys.
For
They're
sure. Maybe he wanted Hard Knocks.
God, I would love that as a Bronco.
Maybe he wanted Hard Knocks. Here's the thing I thought
though.
about Sean Payton. Sean Payton is gonna be the star. He's a big personality.
Bet your ass he is.
He's gonna be the star. He was linked
crap,
up with the perfect quarterback. I think Breeze didn't give a crap about being the star. He just wanted the ball.
Yeah.
And Breeze and him were a great team in that way. But I think now in the Broncos we're starting to see. Oh yeah, I forgot. Sean Payton. He can be kind of an a-hole. He's incredible at what he does. That's why he's Sean Payton.
I love too what he said in that quote about like it wasn't Russell. So it's like, okay.
That part, if you would have just said that.
He said it was partly Russell, part on the. He did put.
No, but
you
had that quote that you said where he was like, it wasn't really like, it wasn't Russell. It was broken, I think was a quote.
Yeah, he said the BS doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, like the point is by saying it wasn't him. It was all on the coaching staff. So all right, if it's not on him, then that means we expect winning.
I'm behind
right
Sean.
away.
Let's move on. Angel's behind his coach.
I'm behind his coach.
I think he's an asshole.
I like it.
Look, if this is gonna be us, then we'll be the villains. Let's do it.
I tell you what,
Week 5.
I generally root for my brother's teams. I think it's fun when your teams are good. I'm gonna have a hard time rooting for the Broncos and Sean Payton this year.
Welcome.
What a jackass!
The whole league.
Yeah.
Week 5, Broncos and Jets. Week 5.
Oh boy!
It's gonna be a good
Write it down.
It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be fun.
Let's get into the Patriots real quick here. The Patriots finished 8-9. I'll read you real quick who they added. They added Super Bowl champion receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm trying to look at notable names here. Tackle Riley Reif. They add Mike Gesicki, James Robinson for about 2 weeks. Anthony Ferkser, Trace McSorley. They lose Jacoby Myers, Brian Hoyer, Nelson Aguilar, Isaiah Wynn, which I think is a big one. Damian Harris moves on to the Bills, and Devin McCourty, longtime safety cornerback. But maybe the biggest addition they make, I think, is Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
They lose ex-defensive and offensive coordinators, Matt Patricia and Joe Judge.
If we want to talk about some bad offensive play last year, go watch the Patriots from last year. What a gigantic mess.
They were a mess, for sure. They had a great draft, as the Patriots do. Christian Gonzalez falls to them at pick number 17.
I'm just going to call it in 4 years, he's going to be the top 3, top 4 cornerbacks in the league.
You've been consistent with
The
that.
Patriots just do this with corners. They make them really good.
I looked at his combine numbers. He is an insane athlete.
He's just going to be good. He's going to be good.
Yeah, they also pick a very good pass rusher, 46th overall in Keon White. So on paper, they nailed the draft.
Yeah.
But really, this season is about the change in the coaching staff. Bill O'Brien coming in, and is that going to fix Mac Jones? And I wrote down this: Mac Jones, make or break year.
I like Mac Jones a lot.
Not last year. I liked him the year before that.
He's still trying to develop, and then they throw 2 defensive coordinators
Right.
to guide him into.
Point,
right.
Yeah, Patricia.
So now
rookie year, everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's pretty good."
For sure.
And then all of a sudden, that's more the coaches. Mac probably had some whatever, but no, I'm on a bounce back year for Mac Jones, 100%.
Let's get into their buy sells real quick. I'll do both buy sell, and then I'll move to you, and then Angel, you can wrap us up. My buy is Juju Smith-Schuster. He's going as wide receiver 45, so being drafted as a wide receiver 2.
Crazy.
The depth chart behind him: Devonta Parker, Tyquan Thornton, and Kendrick Bourne. Not thrilled by any of those options. I think Juju will be the top option. And back when they had a real offensive coordinator, Mac Jones did this with Jacoby Myers. He did 126 targets, 83 catches, just 2 touchdowns. I think that's kind of a touchdown regression. So I think with the same amount of targets in a real offense, I think Juju Smith-Schuster does a lot more with the ball.
Wow.
So I would pick, I think he's more of a value pick. I like Ramondre as well, but I think Ramondre, there's a lot of hype around him. I don't think you're going to deal on him, but I would love him on my team. I'll do my sell real quick because it's kind of a 2-for-1 thing. My sell is any other receiver. I don't want Thornton. I don't want Bourne, and I don't want Devonta Parker. I'm not buying that anymore. Gabe, buy sell.
I'm going to buy Gesicki. You know, he actually played for Bill O'Brien at Penn State, which I didn't know. They brought him in. I feel like that's something Bill O'Brien probably
studied.
had planned.
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, I think Bill O'Brien probably had that plan. They went to the who's the other tight end there? What's his name?
Hunter Henry.
Yeah, you got him there, but athletic guy, kind of a limited guy at the quarterback spot. I know you're just giving him some praise, or I think it was you. Whoever it was, I think Gesicki's going to see a lot of production, a lot of opportunities.
Who's your sell?
I'm going to go with Mac Jones. I know you guys are just praising him right now, but he finished last year pretty bad. He was benched last year. He only had one performance last year where he finished as a top 10 guy at his position. 59 plays a game, which
That's
ranks.
A good stat. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. 59 plays a game was their average, which was 28th in the league. I think that had to do with him. I just don't believe in his performance. I think he's going to be average at best. I think Gesicki helps him, which is why that's my buy. I think he's going to get a lot of production. But Mac, you could be right. I do like your point. How
Well, I don't think Angel's saying that he's a fantasy.
No, but
option.
He is saying he was hurt tremendously.
I think football-wise, he's going to be better.
Football-wise,
fantasy-wise, I don't want him either.
Fantasy-wise, yeah, I have to.
He doesn't really run.
Who's your buy, Selginge?
I'll just do it. My buy is Stevenson. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
I've been a fan of Stevenson since his rookie year. He's okay. Last year, I'm just gonna slow down. Last year, he finished as RB1 44% of the time, and all they did this offseason was lose Damian Harris.
Yeah,
Damian Harris is also a good back, but he's gone. Behind him, there's nothing really to be a lot of 5th round, 6th round picks, and the ghost of Ty Montgomery. no one behind him. Last year, over 1,000 yards, five touchdowns. He was tied with Nick Chubb for the highest finishes as a RB1 when he was the full-time starter. This guy's about to take off this year. You should draft him for sure.
Awesome.
He's going to be RB 5 to 10.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan
love
of
that.
him.
I have him.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. My sell is actually Juju.
Oof.
I'm just not going to do it again. He reminds me of like Josh Gordon when he came back. Just like, he's going to be good. He had Mahomes last year and he didn't do anything. He
was decent last year.
He hasn't had 1,000-yard season since 2018.
Well, that hurts.
Wow,
he's had Big Ben. He's had Patrick Mahomes twice.
Do you have his touchdown numbers?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's fine. I'd be interested to see what his touchdown numbers are. He's been usable.
I mean, you have a point. Maybe Bill Bryan comes back, but I just think that they're going to spread it out too evenly amongst those very mediocre wideouts.
Yeah.
And those tight ends. I'm not buying him as a flat. I think he's just a bye week fill-in.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. It's not someone I'm gonna work too hard to get.
Yeah.
But
I actually like Devontae Parker.
Really,
I don't know how
everyone does. Yeah, that's why he's still in the league.
Exactly.
His touchdown numbers aren't that pretty. 3 last year, 0 the year before, 9 in 2020. 2020, 3, 7, and 7. So
yeah,
kind of inconsistent.
9,
but
7.
We'll see.
Those are decent.
29 in his career. That's in 6 years. So
yeah,
that's the Patriots. I think they're going to finish last in this division. It's incredibly.
It's not even their fault.
We're going to take a break and then get to the other 3. I think the big dogs in the AFC East.
Shots fired.
The Miami Dolphins of South Beach.
Sorry.
I'll share the conversation we just had. Gabe's chair is squeaking and it's bugging him.
Don't move.
Stop moving.
Yeah.
That's the answer there.
I just won't move.
Working on it after. The Dolphins finished 9-8 last year. I was legitimately surprised when I saw their record. I thought they're better than 9-8 last year. Maybe just because they had so much fantasy success.
Yeah. And Tua was out for
And Tua was
games?
out a lot. We'll get to that. They added a lot of people. I was pointing at a couple. Quarterback Mike White might be the starter here eventually. I think a huge
because
addition,
of injury.
Because of injury?
Yeah.
Maybe because of play. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I think Braxton Berrios is the perfect fit for this team. I think he is literally perfect in the slot in between those 2 receivers. I think he's going to fit so nicely and be really good for Tua. They bring in linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel, tackle Isaiah Wynn, which I think he'll play for them right away. Deshaun Elliott, safety. Chosen Anderson, wide receiver, which my prediction that he won't do much because he hasn't done anything in years.
What was his...
Robbie?
What's the
formerly
timeline?
Robbie Anderson?
Then he had another name between that, right?
I don't know.
Robbie Anderson and then Chosen Anderson and then something else in between.
Wait, he actually legally changed it?
Yeah, to
His
Chosen
legal
Anderson.
name is Chosen Anderson.
Because he's chosen.
He's
If you didn't
chosen.
get it.
They did trade for Jalen Ramsey,
Yep.
who we covered already is going to miss an early part of the season. Hopefully
Nah.
back soon.
It's a bummer.
They drafted a cornerback I really like, Cam Smith.
Yep.
From South Carolina. Rangy guy. I think very similar to Jalen Ramsey.
Also, they had the best hire for coordinator they got Vic Fangio, man.
They did get Vic Fangio.
I'm a huge Vic Fangio fan. I'm a Bronco fan, so I know Vic Fangio's work. He's fantastic.
They capitalized on the fiasco in Philadelphia.
Yep.
Where Jonathan Gannon kind of screwed up the whole situation. Fangio was slotted to become the Eagles' defense coordinator. He screws that up. He moves on to Miami. And
with some players down there, too.
Good for the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's a great.
Gonna be
I
really
love
good.
that.
They also added running back Devin Ashayin, who can fly. Very, very fast.
In the
guy.
draft. Yeah.
Not too big, but
I think most of the running
serious
backs,
speed.
they kind of want those speed running backs.
Yeah, they lost some pretty big names here. They lose Mike Gesicki, Byron Jones, now gone, Melvin Ingram, Eric Fisher now gone, safety Eric Rowe gone, longtime punter Thomas Morstead, I believe, for the Saints.
Yeah,
he's gone. Trey Flowers also gone. They lost some pieces here.
A lot of veterans.
A lot of veterans, and but I don't know if it matters. I think this is still a very competitive team in the
I'm
AFC.
such a fan of Vic Fangio. I think I'm telling
Right.
you, that defense is about to be surprising people this year.
Yeah.
Because he has everything. He has pass rusher. He has interior presence. He's got the two corners. Once Ramsey comes back, he's got Holland.
Javon Holland from
Like,
Oregon. Love him.
That team is very good. I'm a big fan of this Dolphins team this year defensively.
Yeah, I think they are going to be one of the dark horses here who are not going to be talked about as much as the Chiefs, the Bills, the Jets are going to get a lot of headlines, and the who am I missing? The Bengals. But I think they can give each of those teams a run for their money.
They're going to be right there.
Especially if Tua can stay healthy. That's what this is all about. If Tua stays healthy, this is going to be a different team because I think he went to another level last year with those added weapons, and we'll see what happens here. My headline for this team is, have they reached the Super Bowl or bust era?
No.
In Dolphins history. No?
No.
You don't think they're there yet?
I think Tua needs to get to a level, and then once Tua is at that level, then it'll be Super Bowl or bust. Tua is last year 25 touchdowns, eight picks, all career highs, 64% completion, 105 passer rating,
And missed a couple games.
and missed. Well, he was concussed twice officially, and then once he fell down, but they were like, "Oh, he's fine. He got concussed."
He was not fine.
That's a serious concern for his career. That's probably why they got Mike White.
Yeah.
I think if Tua reaches, that wasn't. He missed 5 games? He got 25 and 8. Gets to 35 touchdowns this year. Those wideouts can already, they're ballers out there. So
Right.
I'm on board with this team being really good.
Yeah, if they sign Dalvin Cook, which I think is still a very real possibility. I think a little bit of this Dalvin Cook visiting the other AFC East teams is posturing.
Yeah.
We saw the same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think it was actually going to go to the Patriots, but I think gets him a better contract. I think there's still a good chance that he ends up there. And if Dalvin Cook's on this team, you have some serious weapons.
It's balanced. The line's getting better every year, and
Right.
defensively, I think they'll be a lot better.
Defensively, it's going to
Take
be
a lot of pressure off the
Tua
Tua.
and
a
Mike
lot of
McDaniel.
pressure.
Yeah,
Everyone's favorite head coach, Mike McDaniel.
he's awesome. He's
Vaping
awesome.
on the sideline.
He's just a
Gosh,
he's
talk about. We just talked about Sean Payton. I think hard to root for unless he's your coach.
yeah.
How do you not root for Mike McDaniel?
You just you could tell in the playground you weren't picked first for dodgeball, but
And
you're
he
now in
used
charge
that.
of a NFL football team.
Yeah.
He used that.
He's one of the best minds in the game offensively. And he's funny. He's just a funny guy. He's a funny follow on Instagram.
Yeah.
He gives you quotes all the time because he's just weird and honest.
Yep.
His podium game is
And
like no one else.
Also
no
the shoe game. Very
His
good.
shoe game's very good as
Yeah.
well. But his podium game is you're not going to see that anywhere else from a head coach.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's get to their fantasy preview here, and we'll go buy, sell. Angel, you can start with your buy.
Why isn't Jalen Waddle getting talked about?
Who's not talking about?
Who's
Jalen
not talking
Waddle?
about?
No. With the same level as Tyreek Hill.
Oh.
Draft wise, Tyreek Hill goes in the first round. You can make an argument. Waddle last year had 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 75 catches. I understand Hill's good, but like I said, if Tua remains in those games, I could see him having 1,500 yards easily.
Hard to find a number 2 that
Waddle-
puts those numbers up too.
It's a better version, or it's a different version of Jabbar Chase and T. Higgins. I like Waddle a lot more than Higgins.
Wow.
I'm buying this offense. I'm buying Waddle this year as much as I can, and you get him similar numbers to Tyreek Hill for 2 rounds later.
Yeah.
My sell is Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
Not because he's not good. He's always been good. Last year he had 891 yards, 4.9 yards per per carry, but so did Jeff Wilson. 176 attempts, 860 yards, and 5 touchdowns. They're just gonna rotate, and I wish Raheem Mostert could stay healthy.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, he is phenomenal. His yards per carry has always been good.
Talk about speed.
And also they drafted the 3rd round running back. I just think it's gonna be a kind of a mosh pit.
Yeah.
And then if they sign Dalvin Cook, completely cut all these other running backs. Completely cut.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I remember what's going on after that.
I'll do mine next. I'm gonna buy Tua. I almost attempted to say his last name, and I still can't say it. Can you say it?
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Say it slow.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. I think. I don't know. I might be wrong.
I keep saying Tua. I'm buying Tua, and of course the caveat is if he could stay healthy. But I literally think that's the only thing holding him back. I love Braxton Berrios. I can't overstate that.
That's crazy.
I think he's going to really just give him the safety blanket that I don't think Gesicki ever turned into.
Yeah.
And of course the 2 studs on the outside is fantastic.
Yeah.
If they sign Dalvin Cook, but even with the running back room they have now, this offense is going to be very good. I think Tua, if he can stay healthy for a full year, I think he's going as quarterback. I think 11, or no, he's going later than that. I thought it was quarterback 11, but I thought I had it. I don't have it. But he's not being drafted anywhere as high as some of these other guys. I think his ceiling is top 7.
Let me throw some names at you.
Yeah.
Just pick, okay. Tua or Deshaun Watson?
Now we're doing healthy season 2.
Yeah, healthy season, yeah. Tua or Deshaun Watson?
I'll take Tua.
I'll take Deshaun because of the running element.
Okay. Tua or Geno Smith?
Tua.
Okay. Geno or Russell Wilson? That's what Russell Wilson.
You got Broncos fever today.
No. Tua, I'm on board with you here. I think he's going to have a great year.
Yeah, I think that's a strong year. My sell is kind of in line with you. I don't want any of these running backs.
Yeah.
Unless Dalvin Cook signs. We all played the game last year of Mostert, and he looked good. And then they traded for Jeff Wilson, and he looked good. And then they went back and forth a couple times, and they looked good when they went back and forth.
Yeah.
You know what he's going to do? I think Mike McDaniels has brought over the principle of running back by committee from San Francisco, and that's just what he's going to go with.
For sure.
So I don't want any of these guys. Honestly, I'm a little worried if Dalvin Cook, if he signs here fantasy-wise. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think they'll give him all the carries, but who knows? He's never quite done that before.
Yeah.
No.
Gabe, who's your buy sell?
So honestly, I don't want to sound like I didn't prepare, but honestly, it was really hard here. I see the big 3 as far as fantasy goes. You got Tua, you got Waddle, and you got Hill. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying buy those 2 receivers. If you miss out on one, don't worry. If you land the other one, you could probably still get a top 10 guy. Tua, we also talked about him as well, where he's not battling like an ankle injury, a knee injury. He would now. How many concussions last year? 3,
2.
Okay,
that we know of.
That is concerning, but it's not. Again, it's not an injury that's going to keep him off the field. So after those big 3, kind of leads into my sell, where I really couldn't find, because the gap between the guys that are relevant versus the guys that aren't on this offense, it's huge. Yeah. So if you could land these 3 guys, after that, sell anything else.
You don't want anything else.
Even if Dalvin Cook comes in, I fully agree with you that this offense is run through the quarterback. Hill, that's how
it's very reminiscent of the Chiefs' offense. It's so concentrated within a couple guys.
It's hard to buy the running backs.
The rest of them, you're like, I don't want any part of that. I just want these. Yeah.
As long as you can land those 3, and just like I said, if you miss out on Hill, fine. Waddle's there. I do believe with your take, but it's also for me, it's the exact. I'm opposite to it. If you miss out on the other guy, Hill is Hill. He's still very good. So
Miami Dolphins. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe another win or 2 is in their realm. Maybe reach 10 or 11 wins in this division. I think they're good. I think Tua's good. They're gonna have AFC is just tough, and look at this division. This is a prime example of why the AFC is so tough.
You put the Dolphins in the NFC, they're in the championship game.
Absolutely, they get to lose to the Eagles in the championship game.
Yeah. Or another scenario, but yeah.
Let's move on from the Dolphins here and get to the team that I want to talk about the most. From the great state of New York, Jets. Jets. They were a little busy this offseason. They finished 7-10 last year. Very frustrating year. Just a dominant defense last year.
Yeah.
Like literally almost winning games. They just could not get points on the board with the Cougar Hunter himself, Zach Wilson.
My boy.
And Joe Flacco.
Dog, man.
And Mike White. Little ghost. Yeah.
And Mike White for, he had a flash.
Yeah.
But none of those guys were enough to win, even with this dominant defense. So it must be incredibly frustrating. for the Jets fan base. They decide we're going to go for it. We're not waiting anymore. We're going to all our chips on the table. We're going for it right now. Ex-Eagles GM. God, I can't bring that up and not know his name.
The white guy, the bald guy.
It's going to kill me.
With the beard.
He looked it up.
Very good.
Jets GM?
Yeah, gosh. Joe
Douglas?
Douglas. I'm sorry,
Douglas.
Joe.
Joe Douglas, yep.
Yeah. Joe Douglas. God. Sorry, Joe. Ex-Eagles GM, but now the GM here for the Jets. I love what he did this offseason. They did a lot. So let me read it off, and I'll let you guys respond to it.
Okay.
They add Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman, Quentin Jefferson, defensive tackle. Randall Cobb comes over. Al Woods, defensive tackle. They bring in tackle Billy Turner, who once called Sean Payton a fucking bum.
Jeez.
And they bring in Thomas Morstead.
Where does this guy get off at calling people bums?
All I
Thomas
know, his time
Morstead.
with the Packers, he was fine.
He's a bum now. He's like, well, because of bum too.
All right, keep
Takes
going.
one,
Keep
no
going.
one.
And of course
Douchebag.
the addition. Long time Green Bay Packer legend.
Randall Cobb.
How many
Alan Lazard.
Alan Lazard.
Daniel Hackett.
How many years in Green Bay?
I believe 18, and I really hope I got that right.
Was it really 18?
As far as when he was drafted.
Packers fans are so spoiled.
Jeez.
Favre to Rodgers. That's
He comes to the Jets, brings some of his boys, and brings some of his boys from around the league, and has a lot of people, especially Jets fans, very excited about this year. They did lose some guys. They lose defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, quarterback Mike White, James Robinson's gone, Braxton Berrios gone. 2 tackles I can't pronounce. Cedric, I'm sorry, Ogbuehi.
yeah.
Tackle George Fant. Joe Flacco's also gone. I don't think anyone's going to mourn Joe Flacco. Safety Lamarcus Joyner, Quan Alexander, and Vinny Curry. So
Couple
some real
guys
names there, but the names that I read that they added was maybe just as long. I love the 2 guys they drafted up top. I think they are win-now guys. I love when a win-now team drafts in the trenches because I think that's what puts you to the next level. They take pass rusher at 15 overall, Will McDonald from Ohio State. Fantastic pass rusher, incredible bend. They now have a group.
Great defensive line.
They can keep guys fresh all game now. Just guys. And Jermaine Johnson, of course, last year, they take him in the first round, and now Will McDonald. Very excited about that. And then they take my boy. I wanted the Eagles to draft this guy so badly, Joe Tippmann, center from Wisconsin.
Sounds about right.
He's going to be good.
Yeah,
Sounds
he'll be
about
pretty good. And let me tell you, he has a mullet.
Oh, that's a plus.
Gotta appreciate dudes who have the courage to have a mullet.
There's nothing sexier than a center from Wisconsin with a mullet.
Yeah.
You just know he's good.
Yeah, that
dude's
running
gonna-
game's
that dude's
going to the
gonna
next
move
level.
some defensive
He
lines.
probably hunts on his off time.
Absolutely.
That's how he works out.
He hunts in between practices.
Yeah.
Just full bull moose.
Yeah.
But the headline here is this is Super Bowl. This is Super Bowl bust now.
This is the definition of Super Bowl bust.
He is literally trying to do what Tom Brady just did, and have a final chapter of his career that is Tom Brady-esque and win a
You
championship.
probably saw all these great quarterbacks doing the same thing. Everywhere, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady did the same thing. Go to a new team, win a championship, reestablish that. It's not the system, it's me.
Right.
I'm the reason why this team is great.
And so far, it's been the talent. It's been the quarterback. You know, Tom Brady leaves Belichick, he wins. Even Peyton Manning, when he left, he's done.
He broke the record for most touchdowns.
He won an MVP.
Peyton
Yeah.
Manning did. I mean, these I think amongst the great quarterbacks, they have the ability to say, I can show you one more time. If you really don't believe me yet, I can show you. And I think that's what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. But that's the headline today. And I want to hear what do you guys think. Where do they rank right now in the AFC?
They're still below Buffalo. They're still below Cincinnati.
Still below the
Just,
Chiefs.
just because they're a new team, I have to see it. And my one concern, there's not
Where
Okay.
they rank? They're like top 5.
top 5, probably at 5.
right, yeah.
So who are your 4 in front of them?
Chiefs.
Bengals, Bills, Chiefs, possibly Dolphins, maybe Dolphins. Do you put Dolphins?
I'm about to jump over this table if you pick the Dolphins.
Maybe they're 4. Oh, Baltimore.
Other
Baltimore
teams
4.
would be
Baltimore 4.
Would be Baltimore.
Baltimore 4, yeah, for sure.
Baltimore's you have the Dolphins in front of them?
I think they compete with them. I think they keep up with them.
That's not. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you cop out. It's a top 5. Who do you got?
Oh, well, if I'm being bullied, then all right, fine. Put the Jets in there.
Well, believe it. Don't just say it.
All right, fine. The Jets are in the top 5.
There
Yes.
we go.
They're in the top
Say
5.
with the chest.
Call
There
me
you go.
crazy.
Crazy.
I got the Chiefs. I got the Bengals. I got the Jets.
Jeez.
You're crazy.
I think they're better than the Bills. I think they're better than the Ravens. I think they're much better than the Dolphins. And this is how I've talked like this all offseason. I believe in this team. I believe in Aaron Rodgers, his curtain call. I believe in an Aaron Rodgers chip on the shoulder. That sucker will win some football games.
My only issue with this team is their offensive line.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah,
their left tackle, Dwayne Brown, 37 years old. Okay. They have solid guards.
We've seen 37-year-old tackles do well.
Lincoln Tomlinson and Elijah Vera Tucker studs. Okay. Their right tackle is Mekhi Becton. Since his rookie year, he played 14 games. Since that rookie season, which was 2 years ago, he's played 2 games in 2 years.
Okay. So
that's a concern.
Age and injury at the tackle position.
And we know these older quarterbacks, especially Rodgers, they want a clean pocket. They also, I know you like them, they also have a rookie center. So there's a lot of question marks on this line I just don't like. But besides, it's hard to pick and choose because they're so good everywhere else. You might just kind of.
I did hear that today, too. I don't have no numbers like you have, but I did hear that this is probably one of the worst offensive lines he's been with. That's counting his time with the Packers.
Because he doesn't. Dwayne Brown is nice, but he's not an elite left tackle, and Becton is Becton. He can lose all the weight he wants. If he's not on the field, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that's
those are my concerns.
That's a wait and see point.
But besides that, they're.
I think Dwayne Brown's fine. Left tackle, 37. That doesn't scare. We've seen many tackles play at 37. I think the interior line, I believe in him. I believe in Joe Tippmann, but I get it. He's a rookie. You got to see it. The guards are elite for sure. And I don't know. I just think if that is the biggest thing, that their tackles have an age issue, an injury issue, I don't know where else is there a hole in this team.
It
weapons,
all starts and ends with the offensive line.
Really,
I think in those trenches against the Chiefs, against the Bengals, against the Bills, who have that. The Bills especially have that deep defensive line play. They have interior and exterior. I think it's going to come out when at the worst time.
Yeah.
But if they can get through it and get one more year out of Dwayne Brown and a good season out of Becton,
I think the Jets have the best defense in the AFC.
They have dogs.
I think they have the best defense in the AFC. I think their cornerbacks, DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner, could compete with any of these AFC receivers. You think of Stephon Diggs. You think of Travis Kelce's an issue for everyone, but I think their defense is so elite that their offense doesn't. I don't think their offense is going to be as good as the Chiefs or the Bills or the Bengals, but I think they're going to have a much easier time dealing with other teams' defenses than other teams are going to have dealing with their defense. And I think they're going to keep it close enough. And that veteran, Aaron Rodgers back there, who wants to win so freaking badly to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
With those weapons, I'm not picking against this team. I'm not picking against the Jets. I think it's the Jets and either the Bengals and Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. I think
Jets guy this year, huh?
Yeah, I'm in on the Jets. I think they're going to be very good. Let's get to their Let's get to their fantasy. They're a very interesting fantasy team. You wouldn't be surprised. My buy is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Now, here's why he's my buy. I think he's even though all the headlines have followed him, I don't think the fantasy hype has followed him. I think people, you look at last year's stats, and let's just be honest, they weren't good. He was not good last year. And it reminds me so much of Tom Brady. Do you remember watching Tom Brady his last year in the Patriots?
Oh, yeah.
He should have retired.
He looked washed. That wasn't like a take that people had because they didn't like him.
Yeah.
That was like he looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers didn't look like Aaron Rodgers last year. And I just think it's going to be, I think he has it in him like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Tom Brady, like a Peyton Manning, where he comes down to the Jets, and I think he has a resurgent year. And he's one of those quarterbacks fantasy-wise that is going to give you nothing running. But he'll do enough with his arm. He'll throw enough touchdowns. He's so crafty around the goal line.
What's his ceiling for you?
What do you mean?
What's the best that he could finish?
I think he could finish top. The running element. I mean, you want a Fields, you want an Allen, you want a Hurts above him.
I think Burrow headlines those quarterbacks who don't run but are efficient passing.
Yeah, Burrow.
Herbert.
I think maybe top 7. I think he's better than Herbert. I think he'll give you more than Herbert, fantasy wise. But he's my buy, and then I'll wait for myself. You want to go with your buy?
I'm going with the bad man himself. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. I feel like 2017, McCarthy leaves. You get the new head coach in. Aaron Rodgers is washed. Trubisky, this is his division, blah, blah, blah. Rodgers goes, wins 2 MVPs, wins multiple games. This is what he feeds off of. I kind of agree with you on that, where As a Packer fan, yeah, I mean, I do want him to win. It adds to his legacy with us as well. Taking the pay cut, that's a huge move for me. Even though I'm bitter about it as a Packer fan, that's a big move. That's letting you know I want to win, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win, and I'm here to prove a lot of people wrong. Reminds me of The Last Dance where Michael Jordan would make some crap up in his head just to get him juiced up. I think Rodgers is doing that right now. I think he's excited to be there, mixed in with some talent.
Yeah.
Talented guys. And then I love what the Jets did. Bring in Randall Cobb. Bring in Lazard. Anything to make you comfortable, we're going to do it. Bringing it down, whatever you need, we're going to do it. I think Rodgers is in a great spot. I'm buying him. I don't think he needs to be a runner to be a top 10 guy. I think he's going to do fairly well.
Over under 30 touchdowns. That's a safe number. Over under 40 touchdowns.
I say under, but
barely.
Mid-30s.
Okay.
34, 35, around.
Do you not agree with that?
What does Randall Cobb?
Yeah, I don't love that you mentioned Randall Cobb.
No, like what does he do for Aaron Rodgers? That guy owes half his career to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Sorry, that's just wild.
So you're not talking about on the football field.
No, I'm just talking about this in general.
He does his boys.
Everywhere he
solids.
goes, like Randall Cobb.
That's like his real life best friend.
That's crazy.
Aaron Rodgers was his best man.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
They're like him and Jordy are like, those are like his two friends. His best friends.
cool.
so many Jordy Nelson to the Jets jokes this offseason.
They should have just done it, honestly.
And who's your buy?
Low hanging fruit, Garrett Wilson.
No.
Okay, so last year with every non-Zach Wilson quarterback, he averaged 17 fantasy points per game, 6 catches, 11 targets, 82 yards, which are top 10 wideout numbers. No Jets quarterback last year completed more than 60% of their passes. Rodgers was at 64 last year, around his average of 65. So like you said, if he takes off to about 68%, the beneficiary is going to be this talented second-year wideout, Garrett Wilson, who we talked about next year in the realm of top 5.
Yeah.
We've seen Rodgers feed number 1 targets constantly. That's how Devontae Adams became a superstar, and now he's Devontae Adams. I think Garrett Wilson's about to be him. And this is probably the last year where you can get him at the end of the first or start of the second. Because starting next year, even with Rodgers being 40 years old next year, he's still going to be top pick.
Yeah, I made this point about Tony Pollard, and I believe the same thing about Garrett Wilson. This is the last time you're going to be able to afford him at this price. Next year, he might be one of those untouchable guys.
For sure.
He might be one of those guys where you ask for him, and the guy literally doesn't even know what to ask for because he's so valuable. I'm with you on that one. Garrett Wilson to the moon for sure. The problem I have with Garrett Wilson, not the problem, but you are gonna pay for him though. Like the only way you win that deal is if he's top 5 because right now there's so much hype that you're gonna pay for him, but you're not at all disappointed once you pay for him and have him. Yeah. Like you're still pumped about
Especially with those stats you just named right now. Like let's say Rodgers doesn't come back after next year or the year after that. Knowing that he's putting up those kind of numbers even without Aaron Rodgers, he's still worth the investment for sure if you're in the dynasty leagues.
Let's go to our sells here. I'll start us off with my sell, and that is running back recovering from an ACL surgery, Breece Hall.
I am with you here.
I'm with you.
Now, this might sound disingenuous to you two because I recently traded for Breece Hall and then traded him away, and all of a sudden he's my sell. But he legitimately is my sell because if you play in a redraft league, you don't want he's going as sorry, I was mixed up before. He's going as running back 11, so he's being drafted as a running back 1 on your team. How would you feel drafting your running back 1 and not being able to play him till maybe possibly week 8 or after?
9.
Well, they say he's progressing towards week 1.
Right. I mean, so the classic J.K. Dobbins last year. Remember last year when who was it? Ian Rappaport suggested that he might miss the first game, and J.K. Dobbins went after him on Twitter you don't know what you're talking about, and we saw what happened with J.K. Dobbins. Yeah. I don't believe what any of these guys say. An ACL is an ACL is a pretty good track record. Unless you're Adrian Peterson, it's pretty much gone the same way for running backs.
Javonte Williams.
Or Javonte Williams, yeah. I don't want I think in a dynasty league it's different. I think you want him, but you're still going to sit on him. And if they sign Dalvin Cook to a 2-year deal, if they sign Dalvin Cook to a 2-year deal, you're getting a committee back for 2 years, and then we'll see where he is. So I don't know if I want Breece Hall as much as I did a couple weeks ago.
I'm on the same page. My sell is Breece Hall.
Okay, so you make your point. A couple guys you can choose after Breece Hall.
Go ahead.
Okay. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Mixon. I'd rather have Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon for sure. Sign me up.
Miles Sanders. I'd rather have Miles Sanders.
Wow.
Pure volume there.
Aaron Jones. I'd rather have Aaron Jones as well.
Aaron Jones.
Because you got to think, in a year, these guys are starting week 1.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As your running back one. But anyway, go to your point.
No, I'm just gonna echo yours, Brees Hall. If they're bringing Dalvin Cook, they're just gonna. You don't bring Dalvin Cook for him to get 5 touches or carries per game. Bring him in to use him. Brees Hall, and this might be more leeway for them to be like, okay, Brees Hall, you know what? Take a couple weeks off.
Yeah.
We have Dalvin Cook. Then you drafted him, and he's your RB1, and you can't play your RB1 week 1, week 2, or week 3.
That's rough.
You're off to a bad start. You're 1-2. You're 0-3. Then you're instantly trying to trade Brees Hall.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just not on Brees Hall this year.
Yeah.
Yep. Even if Cook doesn't come to this team, you're going to get a late start this year. You're coming off a big injury. For running backs, just like you said, unless you're AP, it's not looking good for him. I don't like this as a buy. A lot of people are gonna buy really high on this guy, and I think that's gonna be a waste. Wasted draft pick. You're gonna spend a lot on him. He's myself for sure.
Yeah, and real quick on him, I think he's gonna have a great career. But last year, I was looking at his stats. He had one game over 100 yards. The breakout was happening, but it was only a couple games that he was truly breaking out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he should be treated like he's Saquon Barkley coming off an ACL injury.
Right.
I think Javonte Williams had a more impressive pre-injury stats.
Thank you, Joey.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I think
love that guy.
A lot of people look at Brees Hall like this is some for sure Hall of Famer come back from an ACL injury. And you know what I'm saying? It was a really good back. He got injured very early in his breakout, and we'll see what happens. I'm on Brees Hall as well. And that wraps it up for the Jets. We're all excited to watch them and catch them on Hard Knocks as well.
Hard Knocks,
It'll be
man.
super fun.
Freaking awesome. I can't wait.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we will get into the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen.
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld.
Yes.
Angel will give us our update on Haley.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back.
She had a fantastic post today.
The suite. Okay, we are back with the Buffalo Bills. Gabriel Angel took the break as a chance to look at Haley Steinfeld's Instagram. How's it doing?
Pretty good.
Thriving?
Very firm.
God. That's my fault. The Bills. Let's get to the Bills. God. Finished 13-3 last year. They didn't win a championship. And that's what it's all about for the Bills.
Yeah. They're at that stage now.
Yeah. They're another team that had a lot of movement on the roster here. They add Connor McGovern of the Cowboys.
I think he was bouncing around a couple teams.
Deontay Hardy, which a lot of people are excited about. I'm not as excited.
Yeah.
Deontay Hardy, Poona Ford, Taylor Rapp, who I think is a perfect safety for them.
God, they have
That's
like 4
underrated.
good safeties there now.
Taylor Rapp is very good. They had Damian Harris, who we'll get into. I think he's going to be a great add for this offense.
Yeah.
And then Damian Harris clone, Latavius Murray. They got Kyle Allen as a backup, and they draft a tight end in the first round, which a lot of people are excited about. And I think he's going to have a great career. We'll get into his fantasy value. They draft at 25th overall Dalton Kincaid. And then they draft the best guard in the draft. They got the best guard in the draft. This guy, if guards were valued more, he should have been a first rounder.
Yeah.
Osiris Torrance from Florida. He's going to be very, very good. He'll start from them from day one, and if he stays healthy, he'll start for the foreseeable future. They lose Tremaine Edmonds, big part of their defense.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Captain, I think signal caller, the big part of the defense. They lose guard Roger Saffold. Not sure how good he was. I think
he was kind of bad last
I think Osiris Torrance is an upgrade over him.
Yeah.
Jake Kamaru, former Packers legend.
Camaro. Yeah.
Camaro.
Somehow,
There it is.
I don't know. I apologize.
It doesn't matter.
They lost Cole Beasley. It won't matter. That's a great point.
Spent so much time on that.
Cole Beasley, they lose him. They lose Case Keenum. They lose Devin Singletary, who was their starter for a long time. They lose Jamison Crowder and Isaiah McKenzie.
They also lose Leslie Frazier. And a kind of a weird kind of exit.
Yeah, that is weird.
So Leslie Frazier, the rumor was that in the playoff games, during the season, Leslie Frazier would call defensive plays. And then in the playoff games, Sean McDermott, head coach, took over those.
Oh, wow.
That was the rumor. Because if you remember, Leslie Frazier stepping down came way later in the offseason when by that time everyone had already picked their new coordinators and it would kind of set them back a little bit.
Right.
Frazier said he's taking the year off, but the rumor was that in the playoffs, they play calling switched. And Leslie Frazier, obviously being a veteran and a respected defensive coordinator, took that personally.
Heck yeah, he should.
So,
Jeez.
and the Stephon Diggs stuff is weird. I don't know what's going on.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. I think no one is off of Josh Allen. He took a step back last year, I think, in his passing efficiency.
Yeah, but
without Brian Daboll. But
He's a gamer.
yeah, I'm good with Josh Allen. I would like him to protect his body a little more. But
that's been my number one complaint.
when you've played football that way for so long and been successful that way, that's hard to ask a professional athlete to do. I think if this team doesn't win a Super Bowl soon, we have to start talking about Sean McDermott. You have to. You're not going to get rid of Josh Allen. That's the wrong move.
The talent's there.
Yeah, you have to start talking about the coaching. You have to see if there's what is going to get you over the hump, what is going to get you over the Chiefs and the Bengals. You know, I think this team's behind both of those teams. I think, like I said, I think they're behind the Jets, but Aaron Rodgers won't be around for that much longer. I think long term here, Allen will be playing against Burrow and Mahomes a lot.
Yeah.
Competing with him.
It would have been pretty interesting if Sean Payton went to Buffalo. That would have been my Super Bowl pick in a second.
He would have been insulting Joe Burrow and them, probably.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, he would have been taking shots to the Jets. Oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, see, interdivisional
twice a
too.
year?
That'd
Heck
been
yeah,
great.
that would have been fun.
That would have been awesome.
It's a good idea. You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, so you think of the Bills and you think that you change things up, but not that much. It's not the major shakeup that you see oftentimes from teams that can't quite get over the hump.
Yeah, Von coming back. Von Miller.
That's a big part.
Yep.
You know, they really relied on Von Miller last year to be that guy, especially in the big games.
Yeah.
Especially in the big games, which is what Von has made his career.
That's what he's done, yep.
And he gets obviously hurt. He's fully back now.
He's back now.
Yeah, he's fully back, and I think he's going to be right back where he just the way that guy works, and I think the responsibility he feels from the contract he got, and just really letting himself and the team down last year as far as production on the field. I think he comes back and is very similar to what he has always been.
This is the team that I can see beating the Jets just because of that D-line depth. This is the team. This is why I can't pick them over.
Yeah,
the
bad
Bills.
matchup for sure.
I can't say his last name ever. Greg Rousseau.
Rousseau.
Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Shaq Lawson, Ed Oliver.
I forgot they brought in Leonard Floyd.
They're just deep, and this is the team where in the playoffs, Rodgers needs to have time.
Yeah.
Those boys are about to be firing off, trying to get Aaron Rodgers. This is the team. This is why I can't list them over the Jets for their defensive line presence.
Not to sound bitter or nothing, but I can't wait for the Bills to play the Jets just so I can watch that. You're getting me excited about that.
And also, Von Miller's my favorite player in the NFL. I want to see him.
You got
win
some
Super
Broncos
Bowl.
fever this show. You really do. You have mentioned the Broncos at least 10,
you're talking
15
about them
times.
a lot.
Jeez.
I mean, they're so relatable.
That's true.
We should
They have a lot in common with the Bills.
They do. Just two top dogs.
Let's get to the fantasy side of this team, which is very similar to the Chiefs in that it's only a couple guys and that's really it.
Yep.
Angel, you can start us off with your bye.
I feel like I say a lot of top 10 wideouts a lot. So, like, I got to cool it with, like, oh, he could be top 10 wideout.
Yeah.
But Diggs is going to be top 10 wideout. But I think this year, he's not the sexy pick anymore. That's Garrett Wilson. That's Ja'Marr Chase. That's, these kind of sexier picks.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp coming back, pushing Stephon Diggs down. Stephon Diggs in the first round. Once again, the only elite wideout that Josh Allen has is Stephon Diggs. Go get Stephon Diggs. Especially if you're doing zero RB draft, that's the perfect wideout one to get.
Yeah, I think he's reaching that level now that Keenan Allen reached.
Yeah.
Where he's so dependable of what he's going to give you, it's no longer exciting.
He has now three seasons of at least 100 catches, 1,200 yards, and eight scores. Wideout 6 last year. No reason for him to be.
Was he really wideout 6?
Yeah. There's no reason for him to be discounted, but people are because there's new sexy wideouts out there. Stephon Diggs is still a dog.
That's definitely me with those numbers you just read right now. Like, I don't disrespect Diggs at all.
Diggs
but
is a dog.
I've always overlooked him too. Those numbers are, you said 3 seasons with 100 catches or more?
Yeah.
It's literally just like Keenan Allen. You just forget how good they are.
He's in that.
That's awesome.
DeAndre Hopkins, like, where he's just going to get it done. He's not the fastest, not the strongest. He's just a good
gets
wideout.
the job done.
And they
Yep.
once
I agree
again
with that.
don't add anything significant to the pass to the receiving core.
And that's my sell is the other
Nothing
guy.
significant. So, who's your sell?
Gabe Davis.
That's so. That's a Sean Payton style low blow.
That's your favorite player.
He was the hotness last offseason.
Sure was.
And the first game, he actually had a good game. Remember the first game?
Huge
He had
game,
like,
yep.
yeah. The first
I
game-
remember jumping off my off my couch.
Yeah.
And just proclaiming my fantasy football championship.
Because Gabe Davis had a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4
But
catches,
then-
84 yards on touchdown.
But then because of
then
all that,
after-
after all that, he finished wide out 36
Man,
with Josh Allen as his
fall from
quarterback.
grace.
He didn't top. He didn't top 900 yards. I just done with it.
Yeah.
They drafted a tight end. I think they're going to do more tight end sets. I think this guy's just going to be a rotational guy. I don't. And last year, who was their slot wideout? They drafted last year. I like him.
They lost Crowder and they lost
no.
McKenzie.
They drafted him last year.
Oh, sorry, the guy they drafted. Oh God, what's his name?
Shakur.
Yeah,
Shakir.
Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, I think he's probably better.
Khalil Shakir has some juice.
Yeah. I'm just out on Gabe Davis. I don't care if he's on the Bills with Josh Allen. He proved last year he still can't do it. He's just too inconsistent. He was hurt last year. He got hurt early and he just played through it, which might be a reason, but I'm not drafting him this year. I'm not playing that game.
Yeah, I think I'd take him late.
As like a
Because
flyer.
I think last year there was a lot of pressure on him to come and be that guy, and he just is not that guy. But the thing about him is that he didn't make plays last year that he's made before. So to me, that's all just the pressure of the moment. This year, I think the Bills have learned that's not the guy that we're going to do that to ever again.
Just put some more balance around
This
it.
is a team that should have been after DeAndre Hopkins, to be honest.
I don't understand why they don't get another receiver now that I look at it.
They should.
Just go get another one. And this year with I was talking to Gabe about this earlier, this year with the issues with Stephon Diggs in the offseason, you realize if Stephon Diggs ever leaves, you're in trouble.
You got to have a plan B.
With
ready.
Gabe Davis and Shakir behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to trade for a wideout at the deadline.
Yeah. They need
Just
to
like-
bring in somebody.
I don't know who's out there who would be available, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's always someone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They should have been on Elijah Moore.
Yep.
They should.
Oh my God,
you know what I'm
that'd
saying?
been
They should have
great.
been on a guy like that, where like
Yeah.
he's
Take a shot at
Honestly, Hopkins would, now that I'm thinking more and more
Hopkins.
about that. Hopkins
Go
would have been
get
awesome.
God. You know who would be great there? Hunter Renfrow.
oh, God, yeah.
He would
give
be
him,
fantastic. He, obviously his tenure in Las Vegas is up in the air right now. So I don't understand why they keep getting pass rushers, which I get, but go get just one more receiver because something happens, Diggs, and what are you gonna do?
Also, what this does to Josh Allen, he just thinks if Diggs is open, I have to do everything.
Yeah.
Take some pressure off this guy.
Yeah.
They could do that by running the ball, but that's not what they do. But get another wide. If you can be this pass heavy, get another elite wideout.
Yeah.
What's the problem? I don't.
Gabe,
Not
who's
that it's easy, but
Gabe, who's your buy?
Well, a lot of passing going on here, and I know I love this talk about there's no true number 2 guy there at the wideout spot. Kincaid was drafted, but you've kind of turned me on like the pause.
That's gonna be a drop.
That's a
next
drop.
show.
turn
Wow.
me on.
You don't like the?
You just said that.
I did. Let me just get right into this. I have so much
right into
catching
it.
up to do. James Cook.
Wait, hold on. Time out. I turn you on, and you just want to get right into it now.
I just want you turn me on and let's get right into it. James Cook, I'm going to take him. Pass catching guy. Didn't start off last year hot at all, but I liked how he finished last 6 games. He caught 19 passes, ran the ball 45 times with not a true number 1 guy or number 2 guy there. I think he's going to have a huge season this year. I think you could buy him really cheap still. And kind of, I'll just give my sell too because it kind of goes into that. Damian Harris. I'm going to sell him.
Wow.
I don't believe Damian Harris fits in this offense. I think this offense is very fast. I think this offense is very spread out. I think a guy like James Cook is a guy that could feed off this offense a whole lot more. I'm not saying Harris is bad, but I know it's early in camp, but it's already been reported he's taking reps behind James Cook.
I know you're a Damon Harris guy, Ange. You want to say something about that?
I think he's one of the most underrated running backs in the game.
Is he your buy?
No, because I don't believe
okay.
they don't run the ball enough to
Then
me
you
buy
don't
into
like
a wideout.
him. Then you don't like
It's not him. It's the system he's in. They don't run the ball enough down there. They don't believe that.
Which is exactly my point.
Yeah.
Which is that's exactly my point. Cook's, or Cook. I'm sorry. Just he's gonna get a large workload.
Yeah,
Definitely somebody you could buy.
Yeah.
Really cheap right
he's
now.
got a big load coming.
You did that on purpose. You did that on purpose.
That was completely.
Sometimes you
unnecessary.
say stuff like "you turn me on" just in conversation.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you come in locked and loaded with what you just said.
I've been good so far. This
I have recommended this show to kids.
Mom's watching.
Mom,
Let's be honest. She doesn't know what that means.
no, she's happy that we're on the TV.
just change the subject.
Those are my boys. So true.
She probably has it muted. She probably
So
doesn't know
proud
where-
of her baby Angel, and Angel's up there just saying.
She's probably thinking like they made it to
Just
ESPN.
talking filth.
God. If we put the ESPN logo in the corner of our screen, she would legitimately believe that we are.
She would start crying. Knowing mom, she would start crying.
Okay, let's get away from mom.
Shout out, Mom.
My buy also is James Cook. Bills offensive coordinator, I believe Dorsey,
Yep.
came out and said he has true 3-down potential. I think James Cook is their guy. They drafted him and they worked him in last year. His split as far as share as a running back position increased all the way last year to the point where it was Singletary 60, James Cook 40.
Yeah.
And even with the disparity there, I mean, still at 60% Singletary and 40, they were still both 20 running back 25 at the end of the year. I have some numbers on James Cook. He had a 40% snap share over the team's final 7 games, in which he matched RB5 that Singletary did. He was also the superior rusher in totality, averaging 5.3 yards a carry. And this one is the one that confirms what I see on the field. The number 1 ranking in breakaway run rate.
It's pretty good.
Which means he has juice, which means he makes big plays.
Yeah.
44%. And then you think of the passing game. The Heenheim's now hurt. And this stat I think was awesome if you're a Cooks owner. Cooks had a 27% target rate per route run, which means when he runs a route, how often does Josh Allen look at him?
Yeah.
So when he runs a route, Josh Allen throws to him 27% of the time. That is equal or better than Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara from 2022.
Whoa.
That's a huge
Numbers don't lie, man.
That's a huge. Even though I'll admit, even though the passing volume in Buffalo is not what it is for McCaffrey and Kamara to get that much of the passing work, and that was with Singletary and with Naheem Hines. I think he's gonna be really good. I think he's just as good as Damian Harris on the ground, who is my sell. I don't want Damian Harris. I think there's so many reasons why I don't want Damian Harris. First, I'll start with this: he can't stay healthy. Last 3 seasons, he's played 10 games, he's played 15 games, and then he played 11 games. Yeah. He doesn't catch the ball. Last 3 seasons, he has caught 5 passes, 18 passes, and 17 catches. So he's a goal line back. He profiles on this team as a goal line back. Unfortunately, they also signed Latavius Murray, who's also profiling as a goal line back. Unfortunately for both of them, the best goal line back on this team is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I think Damian Harris is very talented. I'm kind of bummed out that he went to this team fantasy-wise. I wish he would have went to a team like the Ravens or someone who's going to give him the ball, and he's going to play between the 20s a lot more than he will on this team. I think this team between the 20s up and down the field, it's going to be Josh Allen and James Cook. I just don't want those guys. Yeah.
Where does he finish for you?
Damian Harris?
No, James Cook.
James Cook. We were talking about this before. I think James Cook. I think any of these teams with an elite rushing quarterback, you think of the Bears, I think the Ravens, and the Bills, you're not going to get a running back in the top 5 or top 7 or top 8.
Yeah.
It can't. But I think top 15 is a realistic upside for James Cook. I think his floor is going to be top 24. So I'm saying a RB2 at the least he's going to be. But I think he has RB1 potential.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's the Bills. Quick, let's pick this division.
Sheesh.
Give me your first through fourth place going at a time so we won't get mixed up. Who you want?
I have Buffalo, number 1.
Okay.
Oh man. By one game, the Dolphins over the Jets.
I don't get the Aaron Rodgers hate at this table.
You know what?
Whoa.
No, it's not hate.
I'm rooting for the guy. I'm rooting for him.
Good,
Okay, then
it's
pick
a
'em.
it's a good. It's
No,
a
I'm sorry.
good
These are your
division.
rankings. Yeah, that's who you want. That's who you want.
Bills. It's a coin toss.
So you have
Bills and 2A and 2B is Miami and
New York.
Because I just don't know which one.
Patriots.
Patriots are so far low.
They're like number 5.
Yeah. Just because the quarterback play is just so.
Patriot fans are gonna hate that.
Yeah, sorry.
Gabe, is that the same? You feel the same way?
I'm rooting for Aaron. I see the Dolphins being slightly better. I have them at 2. I have the Bills at 1. I have
annoying.
But I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they finish at 1 because I do believe Rodgers has it in him. I just think it's going to
But
take
you're
some
not
time.
picking him. You're picking him to finish third in this division.
Finish third
Does he make the playoffs?
as a wild card. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they finish second easily. I think they're better than the Dolphins, and I think Tua's going to have a rough time. We'll see. Hoping for the best. I think the Jets are not going to win the division because I think it's going to take a minute for all these pieces to come together.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen as quickly as everyone's hoping. But I think they finish just on a tear once they figure it out. They're coming in as the wild card that no one wants to play. And I think they finish second here. I do take the Bills as well. And Dolphins third. And consensus, we're picking the Patriots to finish last of this division.
I will say that this much. Rodgers in like November and December ball, he's pretty awesome. So if they start off slow, we can just go by his history.
That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Imagine if they get a home playoff game to start. Those Jets fans who are
gonna be
starving.
It's going to be wild.
It's going to be so much fun.
That place is going to be amped up.
Yeah. Well, that is the AFC East. That was fun. I was looking forward to that one.
Very
Really
fun.
quick, you just said the Jets fans. Is that one super fan still around? The guy with the...
Yeah, Fireman?
Yeah.
Fireman Ed?
Fireman Ed. Is he still... I haven't seen him in a minute.
I think so.
Yeah, he's definitely still around. He's just on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
Oh, apologies then.
Yeah, no, he's definitely still around. He's
by juice right now.
He's super pumped.
Heck yeah.
Anyways, that is the AFC East. A lot of fun. Who we covering Monday?
AFC South.
AFC South.
Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. The rookie quarterbacks, right? Levis.
Quarterbacks. Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor
God,
Lawrence.
the Jags. Did you see Calvin Ridley?
Pretty impressive.
God.
Those cuts, right?
I wish I had that drop that said, "You're turning me on."
Say, God, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's not, yeah, good. Didn't happen.
Well, the volume was down, so you're good.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley looks good.
Uh,
You hear what he said today?
Mm.
He said, I'm him. I'm Calvin Ridley. I'm Calvin Ridley.
which obviously equates to production. So I feel you.
You're such a jackass.
No,
sometimes.
Trevor Lawrence is going to be. We'll get to it on Monday,
Yeah.
but Trevor Lawrence is
save it.
Love it.
Such a fan.
Hey, Friday, guys, what are we doing? We're going to Cowboys camp.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
God, dang it.
That's why I was so confused when you said
Yeah,
that.
you guys looked at me. I was like, wait, are we going anymore?
Cowboys
Yes.
camp.
Yeah. Saturday, Cowboys camp. Monday, the AFC South.
So
You guys have a great weekend. Go live it up. Go have fun. Go party with someone. Hey, go to church. Tell your mom